watch the quote. The mother of the Hoodwives, off this the fold. Tell me what your thought juice is, cause I bring the bottles and the truth is I'ma lay it out for all the fools here. I make it clear, 100-proof pit, ayy. Princess E money, time to cash out. No commando for the shortest hard clips out. Do a little dance, shake a little ass. I'm just tryna ask, what's your thought juice? Dun dun dun.
Yes. Let's get wait. Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I got it.
Please.
Yes, I got it. I figured it out.
I love it.
This is what's been bringing me peace.
Yes.
Like really honing in on the craft. Oh, speaker is up. There we go. You know, shit comes, but we learn it's a process.
Yes.
What is up, everybody? It's your girl / boy, E'mon Lauren like Polo, BlkHoneyBun's bitch, and you already know what we here for. The realest show with the hottest stories, The Real Housewives Chicago, season 4, episode 4. Yes.
Oh, synchronicity.
4-4.
4-4.
You're an angel number. You're an angel number. That means you guard and protect.
I love that. I've been seeing it all week.
That's good.
I know. Yeah.
It's kismet. I'm very excited to introduce you. Please tell us who you are. I'll start, right? This is a wonderful, extraordinaire, a star rising. A star rising. They are an amazing MC, poet, writer, performer, producer, sound wave mixer, DJ, all around punk, all around badass, the Nickiest of the Giovannis.
Period.
Yes. Because Nikki Giovanni's a badass.
No, for real. Like
badass. Please make some noise for the one and only Semiratruth.
Hi. I'm a little awkward. Just a little bit. I know everybody be like, I'm awkward, but no. I am until I get comfy. So, hello, everybody. Like E'mon amazingly introduced me as Semiratruth. Chicago born and raised.
Yeah.
I don't know. Internal crazy motherfucker, but on the outside very, I think, trying to keep it inside.
Yes, we were talking about that chaos.
Yeah.
That chaos. And I really do feel you on the punk wave. This reminds me a lot it makes me think about Drea, like Drea the Vibe Dealer.
We've been talking, I'm like, I feel like Drea really sees a little of me, sees a little of them in me, and they're been kind of talking to me about some stuff. And I'm like, I love Drea. Just wanted to shout out Drea.
Please do. Make sure that y'all also please go and check out Drea the Vibe Dealers episode. They are an amazing punk fairy mother. Support your local vibe dealer, everything. Yes. I really do hone in on. Thank you so much for asking that question about what is peace to me.
Yeah.
I think it's eternal optimism. I stay in my most optimistic prime era.
Yes.
I really have faith in the youth, especially with being directly close to them. I really see how they think, where the world is moving to. We're seeing firsthand at we're gonna see the first-hand generation get it together. They're gonna have it together. You're gonna have
Maybe.
Maybe. No. Oh my God.
And I don't know, when you say get it together, I think despite what it is despite not having it together or admitting not having it together, moving through anyway. And I think that honestly that's just a continuation of other people's life patterns, especially being a nigga, you know what I mean? I think that more specifically is just a continuation of stuff that's been built before. And definitely don't have it together. I feel like motherfuckers, at least in my age bracket, I'm not much younger than you, but being 22, motherfuckers honestly just,
so crazy.
Motherfuckers honestly just well, I don't know how much time we got here, but we're gonna keep moving on. You know what I mean?
The fact that Earth is rotating two seconds faster, I'm let's speed it up.
I feel it.
I feel it. I feel like I feel it too.
Yeah.
What does honing in on or giving into the chaos you was talking about earlier about like you being in your chaotic.
Yeah.
What does that feel?
So I'm definitely an overthinker. Like the moment I wake up, I'm having 50 thoughts a day. 50 thoughts, 50, and all of them are like different scenarios, but also like different like things people have like kind of instilled upon me, good or bad. Like, you know, kind of being like, oh, I shouldn't do stuff that way because I'm doing it wrong. Like, or kind of very intrusive thoughts, but also like, you know, oh, but everything will be okay, and da-da-da. And I think there was a period where, especially this past winter, where I got super like upset about that. I was like, I just want to be at peace. I just want to be quiet. Like I just want the voices to stop. And that is still true. I think that's still a thought I have of the many. But I think like embracing all the chaos within creates this, I think, rev up of energy. And when used in the right way, because I think sometimes people got so much going on, they start, you know, chopping people up.
They being honest, like, they giving
if we being honest, or I think like you can, in an alchemy type of way, use it to get some pep in your step, like, you know, create, especially being an artist, like create with that, or just like, you know, live with that chaos. And also I think it's like, especially as a Black people, letting it out in a way that may be scary to other people, or like, oh, that's chaotic, but like a way of freedom, like letting it out in a way of freedom, liberation, and just for like yourself, because just like we were talking about kind of earlier, so much is instilled upon us that's not us, that chaos that is curated is like even an inkling just of us, like what's going on. So like lately just embracing, or at least admiring, the chaos within, and then like within punk music, or like within any music where motherfuckers screaming, shouting, singing, like embracing that and kind of being like, wow, that's life. That's like real life.
Yeah, that's definitely real life.
But peace is also important, and kind of like peace can be protection from other people as well. You know what I mean? Like like you were saying.
Yes. Thank you for that. You're talking so much to me about like the artist way. It talks a lot about like just like giving in to like to that and using that, and that's like how I'm applying it to like my cleanse. Like I haven't been
cleanse. You gotta tell us what the cleanse is.
I'm doing a cleanse because like no time exists in podcasting,
right?
But like I'm doing like a insert month that's moister. You know, well, yeah, right.
So wait.
I'm doing
when you say moist,
it's not moist.
No alcohol or no sex.
No, it's no drugs, no sex, no alcohol, no masturbation.
How you feeling about that?
Day 23. I'm on day 23.
No cheating, no nothing.
No cheating. I still smoke weed because like that's like.
I mean,
I don't consider that a drug.
Gotta get through the day.
Yeah.
You gotta get through the day.
I need it. I mean, I don't need it, but it's like not a crutch for me. Right. Like I don't like really like depend on like, you know, weed to like, you know, to help me with things. Like, you know, sometimes it's like nice, you know, like a nice smoke here, a nice buzz, but like as far as like my dependency to like alcohol when I'm like socially stressed or socially anxietal, and also being very selective about like where I pull my artistic inspirations from. Like I don't want to just be producing great work like always lit. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like some sobriety to like produce like great, wonderful things about me. And to the masturbation thing, I think you was talking about like when you have all of those things, how you can hone that, right? Yeah. I approach masturbation or trying to. I approach masturbation the exact same way. Like I'm collecting myself, I'm keeping my chi in. Yeah. And now I can't masturbate every 2 minutes and then flip screens to TikTok. Like I can't like I treated myself to a day in bed. It's like treating myself to a day in bed now. But it's to watch a movie. It's to eat in bed.
Something else.
So I'm being very intentional, and it's been really good.
Well, if nobody else has said it, I'm proud of you for at least committing to what you said you were gonna do for yourself.
Thank you.
That's hard, but yeah, I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Well, you can cheers and toast it up for me. Before I forget, this is a segment called What's Your Thought Juice?
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, the horns. I thought it was going to keep going. I was
Okay. Go ahead, rap on it.
No.
Just what?
$100 right now.
I know that's right.
All right. What's happening, folks? I'm Black the bartender. Welcome to the Pink Polo, where we juice your thoughts. What do you have, huh? What? All right, sure. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take you a nice glass, get you a very, very nice glass, preferably one with a peach on it. And we wanna match that pink. And give it with some pink Moscato, all right? We all like all things over here pink, all right? And next you wanna give it a nice steady pour. Serve it up with some ginger beer. All right? It's not alcoholic, but over here, it's ginger beer, all right? You want to serve it up well, serve it up cold, serve it up on a coaster, and there you have it. The nothing but the truth. On also other words, Semiratruth thought juice. Hard clips out, do a little dance, shake a little ass. I'm just trying to ask, what's your thought juice? Dun dun dun.
I know that's right.
My thought juice. Okay, I'm a little indecisive, so I just told E'mon I like ginger beer. Do I hold it up to camera?
No, you can if you want to.
Oh, okay. Product placement. Ginger beer. I love ginger beer because I kind of like a stronger, Trader Joe's would be, but I like a stronger one, like the one, from the islands. And when I burn your throat, it just like energizes me, and like I have IBS, so it get my stomach right. So, sip up.
Yes.
But if people don't know,
Oh, you don't have to explain.
Well, it's when your stomach be hurting. A lot of the times,
like
yeah.
severe cramping?
No, it just be like, ever since I was a kid, I think it's tied to stress. Because since I was a kid, I was very stressed out. But it's basically when it's like irritable bowel syndrome.
Got you.
Your stuff be, if you eat something crazy, done. Like,
yes.
My stomach is very sensitive. I eat like a lot of cheese or cheese, period. Done. If I eat too much sugar, done. Like,
yeah.
A lot of gluten, done. Like,
what is gluten?
Gluten is like mostly, think of like bread, pasta.
So like wheat.
Yeasty things, or doughy things.
Okay.
It's more likely gluten in it.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
I definitely used to have a sensitive stomach when I was younger too. Well, I actually kind of went through that pain again most recently, but except I used to have like real severe headaches when I was younger, and I had real severe stomach pains. Ooh, and my stomach lining had almost ripped.
Oh my God.
So I was feeling the acid burn my stomach lining. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? It's crazy what stress will do to you.
I think it's very stress. So I'm gonna say transition to the other. When you stressed and you ain't got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Barefoot wine. My favorite is pink Moscato. And it's like very sweet and it's like juice. All of a sudden, you lit and you're not thinking about your issues.
There you go. And that is all for you.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. I can't.
Right. Damn, I'm sorry.
No, you know what? I must say, I really am very, I've been doing, all of these filming sober. And, it just feels good to just
Yeah, I'm about to say, do you feel better?
I feel more proud. And I really do. Sobriety feels really good on me.
Yeah.
I think that when you have, anxiety, thank you for creating space for us to talk about this. Or, you know what I mean?
No, of
we're
course.
getting into it. I think that when it comes to, anxiety for me, mixed with, PTSD, I'm always, or I just get frantically flustered all the time. The way I've described it is I can be in a room, be standing around 5 piles of things that I need to do. One is dirty clothes and the other is miscellaneous shit. Just 5 different things around me, not knowing which one to attack first.
Yeah.
So I get upset, I go in the other room, smoke, have a drink, feel calm, whatever I do, and then feel like I can do it
and handle it.
And next thing you know, I'm drunk as hell, but in a clean house, right? So, I also had to be cognizant because my therapist, she was like, you also want to monitor how you're rewarding yourself. And I'm like, ugh. So much thought.
I guess, like, no, yeah, I felt that. Like I said before, I have ADHD, almost certainly, and, like, I'm still trying to find my coping mechanism to, like, when it's mad stuff to do. I feel like now in life, like, as I get older, I'm just more and more shit to just do, and, like, I'm like, I don't know how to attack this, so I'll, like, lay down, paralyzed, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll do one thing, but, like, I don't know, at least you, it's bad to say this, but I'm like, shit, at least you got your, like, vices to get you through that, and I think, like, once again, like, being human. Also, I'm learning that everything's not black and white, for real.
Yes, we are at that point.
I think it's honestly okay to have vices sometimes, but I think it's, like, up to you, like, you kind of doing to be like, okay, this is where this is why I need to stop. This is my boundary with myself. Like, I need to, like, cut this out because it's affecting me negatively.
Yes.
But I mean, a little drink, a little smoke.
A little smoke. You know, like,
your capacity.
I'm a rock star.
Yes,
you feel me?
absolutely.
Like, and there is no shame in my game. Like, I just love life.
Yes.
And I just have fun. And I just want to be, like, very intentional about how I'm, like, having my fun.
Yeah.
And also, what does that mean to, like, myself, my body, my artistic spirit? And it has revealed a lot about myself, but also about other people. Yeah. You literally said exactly what somebody said. I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, it sounds like you're setting boundaries for yourself. And we mostly think that, like, boundaries are for, like, other people but I really thought that was a good way of putting it.
Yeah, no, I think it's like having boundaries with yourself is, like, so important because I don't know, I think this past year has been a lot about, or teaching me a lot about, like, self-relationship and how in which the ways, like, I would look outside of myself a lot and be like, oh, these people suck. And that could be true, but then I was thinking, like, wait a minute, like, a lot of this draws back into me and, like, who I am as a person and what I can put up with. Okay, like, I am having a hard time putting up with or telling people, like, I can't put up with something because I have a hard time telling myself I can't put up with something.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
No, for real.
Let's fucking talk about it.
I think, like, and I'm not an expert. I think I'm at the phase of things where I'm like, I know what it is, just trying to implement shit, but, like, it's hard to set boundaries with people if you have not learned how to set boundaries, like, with yourself in certain things. You know what I mean? Like,
I really do.
If it's like, if a person is, like, being terrible to you or, like, being away and you are not being like, hey, this is not okay, like, a lot of times you're not doing that with your own actions. Like, you're not, you know, my best friend, Seven, you know, I was going through a real depressive episode, and, like, 7 is an Aries, so it's very, like...
What's your zodiac?
I'm a Gemini. With a lot of fire placed, so, like, Aries moon and Leo rising. Okay. So, like... But I'm pretty chill. It seemed like a lot of, like, but I think a lot of that shit's internal. We go back to that. But my Aries friend is very, very comforting and but more in the ways of, like, let me show up. Let me clean this damn house and tell you like it is. Because, like, you know, you need to do this for yourself because you're doing shit for other people. And it's not basically like that friend. You know, everybody need that friend.
I do.
Everybody need that friend. But
I think I'm definitely that friend.
No, we love those friends.
I am that friend.
Who are going to tell it like it is and not sugarcoat stuff. I'm a little bit of a sugarcoater.
I mean, I feel like I talk, like, very, like, you know, with a lot of grace. With a lot of empathy, right?
That's good, too.
And I really appreciate that because, like, a lot of times, like, it just feels like, it can feel like docile, but I have to remember that, like, there is another way that I could communicate. Granted, it might be more effective, but it could also, like, tone would totally be misconstrued. I also talk with my face a lot, so if I'm confused, if I'm frustrated that you're confused about what I'm saying, my faces are gonna show. My faces are gonna show.
No, my favorite people are the people who can just keep it a buck. Like, keep it a buck with their face, keep it a buck with their words, keep it a buck with just everything, but who also is not mean, we're not vicious with it. I think it's an art to that balance. Like, cause some people be a little like, okay, now you doing too much, but a good balance and a good person with empathy, but also be like straightforward.
Yes, I like that. I appreciate, I appreciate that. I receive that. I think it also takes like affirming a few times for me, like why I may not say something in the instant, because it's like, am I really sure? Am I feeling this way? Like, am I tweaking? Yeah. Like, it's kind of like when like you see like a racially ambiguous person in a room say nigga, and then like you look at somebody, you be like, and you gotta let it roll a few times to like make sure that you affirmed what you heard. Yeah. The second time you hear it, you like, okay, no.
Lately, I don't do that. I be like, what you say?
Yeah.
If somebody's like ambiguous, I'll be like,
excuse me, are you black?
Yeah, no.
That's literally what I say. I'm like, pardon me, I just have to ask, are you black?
It's getting scary out here.
It is. It is, and racially, I mean, look.
We gotta get into it.
You feel me? I really look.
I think it's like a lot of people are not black who claiming they black, and it's like, let's go back to what black means.
Let's talk about it.
I don't know. Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit, but honestly, like, I think that, like, so we talk about race. I think a lot of people get away with like calling themselves black but not experiencing black. I can't get it. I'm a nigga. Yes. I'm a nigga. You see me like I'm black in a way. You know what I mean? I'm definitely one of the people that's like explores different like things other than black. There's more than just being like that black, like that color, whatever. I don't know. It's so rude. It's so like, but I think if we boil it down, sometimes people who don't look black, like I be iffy about whether or not they should be black. I know sometimes that's controversial, but like I think blackness is very like, if we go down to like race, like, you know, European, like base race, black, white, like you look like you benefit from white things.
No, I completely,
in society, then you are not black. Like you're not black.
Absolutely.
You know, we could get into nationality and like all that other, other shit. But if we talking about just race,
blackness, black. No, let's fucking talk about it, because it is about self-awareness. Yeah. Like my question is like, I feel like folks should like, when is someone considered a person of color? Like actually to the point, like as a matter of fact, right?
I don't know. I'd be like, I think person of color, I guess like what I've observed is like people who are not black but of other like cultural, like cultural association. What Rihanna say? Like no, just like you remember, it's not like that, but just like
what Rihanna?
No, like when Rihanna was like, and so for the men, the women, and other gender appropriations. I'm not trying to write. Sorry, expressions. No, I'm not trying to be like that, but like people who are not black, who are of other cultural, like, associations, cultures, and like, I guess like if we just looking at it plain face, like that's what people of color should be. But like, I don't know, that always felt weird to me.
I feel weird about it.
People of color, like, I don't know, it's like,
I feel like
I'm very big on words. Yeah, I'm big on words, and I think words are spells and stuff like that. And I think like, just words are very significant, and like, people of color, like, I don't know. It just don't sit right with me. I don't know. I feel like I still have thoughts about it, but I just think like, first of all, race has like really like fucked up like everything.
Yeah.
Race and like the ways in which we identify with shit. But honestly, I just think it's like, as a black person, I could just be like, I know who black and who not black. You know what I mean? Like, I know who black and who not black. People who are not black, I guess they can choose what they would like to be called, because I don't have a say in that. All I know is that you're not black. You know what I mean? Like, I can't have full like opinion on what you can refer to yourself as.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
I definitely do feel you.
But you just not black.
I definitely do feel you. I think it definitely becomes like a lumping in, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're not talking about the monolithic experience, right? Like we understand that Blackness is like no monolithic experience, but to speak directly to like to self-awareness, as we was mentioning, right? Like, how am I being perceived in the world?
Yeah.
What am I having like access to right now?
Exactly.
In this space saying nigga.
Yeah,
like, what is
and
that?
I think it does get complicated because you do have people who are ambiguous, but who have, two light-skinned parents. You know what I mean? Or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, like, race is very based on privilege. Yeah. Unfortunately, and I just think that some people don't like to admit that, and they don't like to admit that, people want to be like, I'm black, and it's like, your parents are black. Like, technically, yes, you are like black, but
what is
there
your
are
experience?
things, your experience does not call to that. And I know that's very controversial, but I kind of don't give a fuck.
I don't either. I mean, this is real
this is just
Chicago.
me. This is just my opinion, and I think like I could be wrong in somebody else's eyes, but I definitely think that as this.
Yes.
I can't be anything else at least in this country. Yes. Any other eyes but black.
I mean, shit. We can name a few other countries too. Like we can name a few of them too.
And there's other ones, but I guess in my American experience, like.
I definitely totally, You know what
I mean?
I do. I really do. This is the Real Hoodwives Chicago.
Yep.
It's the realest show. I always strive for authenticity, and that is like, I really want us to move towards non-washed lenses. I really want us to move past like edited conversations for the sake of like a Twitter rival. Yeah, right? Like, exactly. I strive for this show to be archival because these like, I only have these conversations, like, to be honest, like really like dissecting it person to person in maybe like a smoke session. Yeah. Or like when I try to have it like on a rock star night with somebody else, it never goes good. Yeah. It never goes good, right? But I think those are conversations that need to be had like publicly.
They are. And I think like it becomes such a conversation needs to be had because a lot of people who get to be in the forefront and benefit from a lot of like black dialogues too are people who don't look like me. Yes. Or don't look like black. You know what I mean? Yes. And they be kind of blowing me. Yes. You know what I mean? And yes. I think when there is like, just like capitalism, like there's billionaires, and then if there's billionaires, there has to be people who are homeless, who don't have a penny to their name. And I think that same goes with this conversation of like, if there is like such like the famous, light-skinned speakers on black people, ambiguous speakers who are black, you know what I mean, have that black experience, who get to speak loudly on that. But there are people who are darker skinned. There are people who are like, not cis. There are people who are not these like palatable to society identities who are being drowned out because of the heavy representation of like one type of thing. I guess it's getting better, I guess, but not really. I think people people love their Ice Spice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not to say Ice Spice is like.
No, we love Ice Spice.
Not to say no, like.
But I understand.
Yeah, her move. Yeah. But like, I feel like not to say like she's not a delegate of the black community, but I think like it'd be people like her who are political speakers or like who may look. You get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. You segue into exactly the conversation I really wanted to have with you. You are a star. Period.
You like, thank you.
A star, yes, and arising. Like ascending, right? I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so honored to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
This was actually, like, you were very affirming when I had came to your show at the Garden, I believe that's it called.
A small show.
And I was cute. Like, I just want to ask you, like, I felt so much energy there, so I was a little like, kind of like tense.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for affirming me. Because I didn't want to make sure I was tweaking. Like,
we could talk about it later, but anytime after I get off stage performing, anywhere, and also like the more I've performed at bigger venues, the more I had to interact with a lot of people. That shit is a lot. No matter if it's a small venue, big venue, music bumping, like, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I also like have like what's it called? Like an empath. I don't really feel like I want to subscribe to empath because that gives I'm too open to energy, and I'd rather just open myself as a portal and more intentional work. But
you probably feel a lot. You feel it. You feeling it all at once. And I get it.
Thank you. But I came to you at your show and I was like, I would love for you to be on the show. And you were just so affirming, and I really do appreciate this. And in you ascending and taking off, what are some of the challenges or just things that you're getting faced with in the music scene, in the music industry,
nobody
you
really
there.
asks me this, and I only have conversations about it with friends when an issue comes up, and
You said with an art issue?
No, when an issue comes up. When an issue comes up, I'm going to my friends and be like, man, this.
Yes.
I think one thing is that you realize very quickly that it is does have to do with talent. You got to work hard, but it is a lot to do with a popularity contest.
Right.
And that is heartbreaking a little bit to artists in a way that it's there is motherfuckers who is probably more fire than me, more fire than a famous person, but they may never even be heard because it is definitely a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And it's you gotta be with the right people. You gotta be kikiing with, this person. And I'm not immune to that game, and I'm not better than anybody or nothing. And I'm grateful to know people, and I'm grateful to have been in rooms where I get to meet people and stuff like that. And in the same vein, I'm ooh, sometimes I don't like how people move. When they say never meet your heroes, it's true. I've met people, or at least seen people at close proximity, or know people that is just is a friend with somebody, and they'll be telling me stuff, and I'm people be shysty when they feel they have an invisibility cloak or a invincibility cloak around
invisibility
them.
works.
I say no, both. People like to, when somebody's a certain level of famous, people like to look the other way. Yeah. And I think another issue is how sickening, and I already knew this, but how normalized abuse is, how normalized is it?
Yeah.
Or at least how many enablers you will see with abuse. And I'm not gonna go too in depth because I do, we can, but I think that it's so heartbreaking to see, to trust people and to work with people, and then you kind of see that they'll give off a face that they care about assault and people getting harmed in this music shit, but they will only care enough to show in your face and then, kind of not say nothing after, or not check nobody.
Yeah.
I think that makes me mad alongside with people who does abuse people. And I think that makes me equally mad. Complacency is and I'm I've come from a place where I'm very like I said, from a young age, I think a lot of people put anxieties on me and put a lot of I don't know, things on me, but I've done work to be a bigger voice, be try to, because I used to be so nervous to even perform, or even step on the stage, or even people be roasting me, and I'll be I don't know what to say. But it's I've done the work to be able to be hey, the fuck? And I think they be grown men who they rap for a living. Yeah. They have, their voice is their living. But then when it comes to certain shit, they will not even check their homeboys. Yes. You know what I mean? Check their, you know what I do. I do. Yes. We go I know there. You know.
We go there. We go. We'll talk. We'll definitely talk. We'll definitely talk about
I would love to hear your side of things and other shit. But
yes,
that is another issue I think that I see is how disheartening that can be, and how there are circles absolutely where people do create accountability. Like, there are people who take that shit seriously.
Yes.
And they smack a motherfucking face, punch somebody in the face for it. But there's a lot of shit like that goes on behind closed doors that, you know, you wouldn't even realize that people are doing.
Yeah.
And it's scarier because it be the people that be the favorites, or I have realized lately, like, you never should trust fully, right? No, fully, like, you never should trust fully the dude you probably think that wouldn't do nothing. Or not even just the dudes, man, it's primarily.
Yeah.
But like anybody who is like you putting on a pedestal in your brain, you know, Beyonce, Jay-Z, not don't come for me. But like Beyonce, Jay-Z, like it be people like that. You wouldn't think do nothing, but they do stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I definitely agree. Okay. I affirm everything and I completely totally agree. I think especially like abuse is one thing, right? But it's like also abuse in like music, artistic scenes, right? Like
and abuse in different facets as well. It's not even, you know, somebody could like touch somebody, right? But also like mental manipulation and abuse, like verbal manipulation and abuse. Like,
and niggas
people
be
are
doing
just not
actually
good people. Type, you know.
No, niggas be doing actually whole acts of violence, little fucking crimes, like full fucking crimes. And I think that accountability is a tricky process.
Yeah, it is.
I think how I look at accountability, I'm really intrigued by Miriam Kaba's perspective of just about like what reform looks like, or like having an accountable pod, right? Because even if someone like does harm and like they are held accountable, like they have to like admit to the harm, and also they also have to like want to take an accountability process. But that can't be like the last of that. What does it look like to make sure that doesn't happen again?
See, me, I believe in beating people's ass.
Me? Let it ride the first
I believe in beating people's ass. I think like you're so right. Like stuff is hard, not hard. It's definitely plausible, and I think it is like just enough work that a lot of people choose not to do the work. And I think it's also like who should be doing that work. Yes. I think a lot of accountability process.
Black women are doing that work.
Black women, Black trans people, Black non-binary people, like do the heavy lifting of a lot of that work of accountability, or being like, hey, this needs to be. Hey. Like, honestly, like,
up for it.
Because I just feel like people's ass needs to be beat sometimes.
You know,
in the most honest way. And I think, like, you know, some people would be like, MLK, nonviolent. But I'm just like,
shoot a nigga.
No, like sometimes, like people, I've heard a story of somebody's like experience. I was like, man, listen, sometimes people need to get their ass whipped and dragged around the corner for their crimes, or their, like, not even crimes, but like their abuses, actions.
Yeah, their crimes, their abuses, their actions, you know.
Because people will do stuff over and over again so they learn their lesson.
And then sometimes that lesson needs to be an ass beating.
Yep. Sometimes it needs to be an accountability process. Sometimes that accountability process look like ass beating. Sometimes it look like, I don't know what it looks like.
I'm for that. I think what also comes to my mind very honestly and candidly, right, is how Black women choose to protect themselves. Yeah. Right? So like, what is it for a Black woman who doesn't have brothers, who doesn't have a father, who doesn't have, like, you know, accessible community to call upon for defense? How do Black women like protect themselves? And then there's also this like a very manipulative tactic that Black men, like abusing Black men, like to put on Black women. Or like, you really gonna call 12s on a Black man? You really gonna call 12s on a Black man? And I was like, yes. Yes.
And I think we all need to do better at imagining a world without like carceral and meaning like systematic shit, like calling police, but also too like no buts. to that. Like, yes, as well as, I don't know. I'm gonna just keep saying it. People just need to get their ass beat.
I feel that, but like, who do you call to beat the ass? Though?
Yeah, no,
who do you tell
like,
to beat the ass?
That's facts. Like, I think that like that's where the little gray areas come in, because I would say like there just needs to be better protection and community built around people who are most vulnerable to attacks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like to it being attacked, but also like when attacks happen, there needs to be better like community built around like, okay, when this happens,
what is going to happen?
Well, who is going to be willing to beat the ass? You know what I mean? Who's going to be willing to beat the ass? But it's hard for people who feel like maybe they don't have that community. You know what I mean? I don't have all the answers, and we probably, because everybody thinks differently or has different principles and relationships to the carceral system, I think it is hard to get to like
and like, you know, every experience is like, this is my experiences. Like I've went through like abusive relationships by not protecting myself. I've also been through abusive relationships because because I didn't have no paper trail or nothing like that, or have no access to anybody. And I did have conversations. Shout out again to the Let Us Breathe Collective for the wonderful breathing room. Yes, I had conversations with them. There was like, you know, about my interactions with somebody that were unsafe and that should not be around me. And they raised a very like liberating like lens and idea, like a geographic pod. Like, what does it look to have like a pod of people around to support you, right? I think that we again don't hold answers and like we hold all of our experiences. I think that is like a good stepping stone to like imagine from. But I would imagine it just takes a lot of community, a lot of building, and like a lot of like talking. And we know that time isn't always granted to like vulnerable people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like I said, I think it would take a lot of like pushing effort on everybody's accord to come to some good solutions. And I think we are inching towards better solutions. But I would desire and love to see that work get off the backs of Black trans people, Black women, Black non-binary people, because I just don't like what the fuck, like the dynamic of that weight being held on the people who are most vulnerable to said like actions.
I'm curious your thoughts on like, because what it sounds like to what I'm inspired, or the inspirational thoughts that I'm having as you're speaking, is like what like gangs used to be. Right?
Exactly.
But then we have gang loitering laws where it's like niggas can't hang out in groups of 5 or more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like kind of like that, like how gangs used to be set up of, you know, you protect your own and protect your, you know, but some people are off limits, and if you cross that line, you know, you're getting your ass booked, or you're getting worse. You know what I mean? You're getting worse. You're gonna be God tonight. But like, I think like that, something like that would be like beautiful to come back. We need to get out this like the system that we in. And I know it's very buzzwordy system, like, but it's true. Like this house that is built around us needs to be burnt down because what happened to gangs, like, and you know, that's a whole other thing. But what happened to gangs from then to now would have, you know, it'd be hard. And there are like currently gangs and groups that like move like that, and they do have like certain morals or boundaries of like, okay, you touch this person, it's over with. But I think a lot of them are like cis-led.
Yes, I was just about to ask you.
They don't care if something happens to like I keep saying, like a Black trans woman or Black trans person in general. I don't think they would have, but I think I do see individual groups of people trying to like create kind of that system, but a lot of things in America just can't happen.
America don't have
because there's so many like there is spies all around us. There is like white people who are gonna burn this shit down. Not even just white people, like people who are for what is built around us is going. They don't care about the safety of certain people. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
So it's like I would love that to come back. That's community protecting community so we don't have to live in such like a horrific like.
And that we can actually depend on each other and move like and create like an abolitionist lens, a thoroughly abolitionist lens. I wonder like as a like to that like if these spaces were to come back and we want to remove the work of Black, trans, non-binary femmes and folks, how can these like these spaces where okay, let me break this down. I do think that like men need a space for each other, like that is non-locker room type, that is like, you know, just a space to like really dismantle misogyny and patriarchy, right? Or like Black men specifically, and like that can be led, right? But I think like to effectively have that, you have to like have the people who is harmed in there, like a real I feel like a real revolution like has no allies. So and solidarity is like an invite, right? Yeah.
So you think like I just want to make sure like there needs to be a process where there is like men healing or cis men healing, and the most vulnerable groups of people to their attack need to be a part of that. No,
I'm not. No, I don't think that. I'm curious. Like when we say like if like cis men were to like have like a healing group, like who would facilitate that?
I think honestly, I think a man who is very learned needs to do that.
Okay.
No, honestly, because I feel like once again we kind of go back to like that work being so much work being on the back of like people who should not be on. Exactly. I think like, and it kind of goes all the way back to like my first point too. I think people have a hard time holding each other accountable when it's like a homie or something that somebody like look like that look exactly like, or have some experience to you or somebody you kind of look up to, whatever. And I think like men have that weird dynamic or like ego, a lot of shit going on over there that I don't know about. But I think it needs to be like other dudes to be in there and be like, hey.
Yes. And that's thank you. And they exist, you know. I see beautiful Black men, and I would love to like, you know, give more Black men praises, you know, and I definitely do. And like, you know, when this move hits, I love to call a Black man. I see you, Black man. You know, not every nigga's a nigga. Sometimes you gotta hit a nigga with that Black man.
No, for real. I have respect. I'm not in that phase right now. I feel I will get there, and I have respect. I'm not saying I don't have respect, and I will advocate for the survival, especially Black people. Like all like Black men, I do respect and like vouch. But I think that like I've like in a process, at least personally, of like decentering men, and then one day I'll go back and circle back and be like, oh, like, hey, you know, put my energy to that. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It does make total sense.
That's like...
That does make total sense.
Yeah, just for my personal. I don't think everybody should be like... But I think, like, for me, just... Okay, what's that look like to decensor? Because I have a lot of, like... I do have, not a lot, but a couple, like, Black men friends.
Black
men.
They must be really good Black men. You did an Earl James Jones.
No, Black. No, but like they dope. I had to take a step back though, because I felt like it was I was like I had to reflect and I had to be like, okay, like what is the ways in which they'll show up for certain things? Not even just me, but just like certain things on their outside.
And I think that's really wonderful and beautiful that you like understand what like your boundaries and your capacities are for people. You really make me think about like what this show was inspired by, like just like pure honest like dialogue, right? And I feel like in dialogue, like, you know, every community needs to do their own community building before it gets like one pinned against the other. Yeah. Because like not everybody, like you said, it's not black and white. Like we all live in intersectionality. Like I can't just be Black. I just can't be femme. I just can't be non-binary. I just can't be like, you know, queerness. Like these are all intersects of my life. But it is very important, I think, to always have dialogue. And I really want to know like why do men think this way?
Yeah.
Like, why do
Yeah.
like, please, like, I just want to brutally understand, why do you feel this entitled to me right now? And I ask, and I've gotten like a lot of response, you know, that's my experience, you know what I'm saying? And being in like relationships or interactions like with men. But I also like feel like if we can like, I strive for us to come together eventually.
That's where I think I'm like, you so better than me, because I be like, I don't give a fuck why you think like that. It depends on certain conversations, but I be like, I don't give a fuck why you think like that. It's, once again, like in my therapy sessions, my last couple therapy sessions, like we talked about the black and white shit, and like not everything is black and white, not everything's gonna be perfect, but I think sometimes like people be so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta divest from,
Definitely.
like even the male podcast,
No. I totally get it. I tell you, hey, but you on the Real Hoodwives Chicago, right? Like, I feel you.
No, I know you.
You know?
And I just like, kind of like, I respect you for that, and I respect you for like being like, I want to hear how you think, like why you think like that, you know, or why you think, you know.
But back to your point of like the work of like the black.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't have the patience, at least right now in my life. You know what I mean? Like maybe next year.
Yeah.
And I do, once again, it's all up to, and I think too, like kind of going back to music, what I do attracts a lot of men.
I was just gonna say that.
It's a lot of men. A lot of, I'm like, I have a show in March. And
congratulations.
Thank you. LOL. It'll be announced soon, but like, I have a show in March. I'm not the headliner, but I'm opening for somebody, and love him, you know, really good music. I've been a fan for a while. Not me burping.
No, you're good. You're good.
But that, I know, like, that type of underground hip hop, I guess. I think I try to not just be in that little circle, but like the underground hip hop community is very men centered.
Yeah.
And I think like for me right now, I'm like trying to just, okay, if I'm doing a show like that, okay, I'll do that show, but I'm not trying to be around in the mix with these niggas. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like kiki. Like I'll be kiki with like, and I'll talk and I'll like,
you'll be cordial.
You'll be cordial. And I do fuck, I am like a fan of music in general.
But like, let's leave it at that. Like,
kind of, in a way, like it's complicated, definitely. Yeah. Especially, that's another thing with the music I make. It's like the experimental rap stuff. We just realized we got similar.
Is that Jade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar, what's this? I said necklace.
Pardon me.
Necklace?
I was twirling out. I'm like, oh, you're both fidgety.
No, for real. But I don't know. I just think with like, there's so many facets to life right now.
It is.
Sometimes I just want to be on my couch with my cat. Like,
it is. I definitely, and like, you know, don't mistake me, like, you know, or like understand, like, I think that like I was definitely like in my like fuck all men era. Window shopping ass nigga was that poem. Yeah. That was that poem, man.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a hit.
That prime, that era, an era, right?
Yeah.
And I think that like as I got older, I had to think about like what is like my ultimate resolve. Like, can there like, instead of like being like a utopia or dystopia thing, shout out to Robert Reed. Yeah. But like, what does like an atopia look like, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I could be happy like around like all femmes. I feel like I could be happy around like all non-binary folks. You know?
I think I live right now. I'm very much so living in just figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
I think like in being okay with like, you know, I have my thoughts now, and I feel like when people talk to me, they think I'm very like.
Fair. So you do come off as very like you stand firm on like your opinion, and that's admirable. No, I feel it. I think
some shit is flowy. Some stuff I am like hardline stop like.
Yeah.
But
what's it called? You're not deal breakers, but like non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Your non-negotiables. You have your non-negotiables.
Yeah. But I think I'm also in a phase of my life, once again, like I'm young, and I have a lot of like, how do I, like sentences that don't have the periods yet. You know what I mean? In
Like
my
an
head.
ellipsis?
Like, yeah.
Or like
I have
another part could
it's
be.
It's kind of like I'm saying, like, I have a lot of thoughts. So, like, I have a lot of, like, unfinished conclusions.
It's open air. You know, you're gonna.
Yeah.
It's open air. Isn't a Gemini air sign?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
I think I'm like a Gemini for sure.
Like you're firm and aloof, right? Like you can, like, I feel like it's very, you know, admirable, and I respect you and just like being like, nope, I don't have this in my capacity, and like I feel that, especially in doing the cleanse, like. I've learned more about niggas than I learned about myself. I was like, ooh, like, why is my dry got you on full wet?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't help yourself. And it becomes very virginal again, very conquest again. Why you want to bring me food?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
I think,
I get it.
I feel like when you do fast like that, from what I hear, I haven't committed to like a full fast. I've done like intermittent fasting, but it's not the same at all. But I think like when you fast like that, I hear like it brings out like what you need to let go of. So anybody like really trying to like,
yeah, I had a conversation. Yeah.
They probably,
No, I had a conversation with my therapist about this. Like, what I think one of the biggest things, and we was talking about boundaries. She asked me, so like, what are your boundaries? And I was like, I don't know how to concrete write my boundaries. Like, I wrote out like what my value, like my what my intentions are. I figured out how to language and formulate my intentions, but writing out your boundaries, that feels a little complex. And she was like, so figure out what your values are, and whatever protects those values, and then write how you protect those values, and how you protect those values. Those are what your boundaries are. So that is like the exercise that I'm taking in, but it's also making me have discourse about like stability versus peace. Like I shouldn't have to choose. Right? Idyllically. Yeah. However, like as a sex worker, what does this look like? Like I have to give. I have to give a fantasy or like some conversation for the sake of like some equipment or for the sake of some money, you know what I'm saying? Whereas like, I can't interact with this. Like, why are you not encouraging me? Why are you not like I can't interact with this. So I get comments like, oh, like, you know, this needs to be over with, or like, you know, I want to be a part, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, man, like it becomes taxing, and it's like, I shouldn't have to choose. I don't want to have to choose, but that ick factor is making me set firmer boundaries.
Yeah, and I think it's about that season to just be like, all right, this is what I need. Especially being a new year, I feel like it's always like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I will not tolerate. Like, or just getting more in tune with like you, kind of like what we talked about. Like, what is it?
What does my heart want? And you know, I'm really liking where it's like leading me and what I'm speaking to. Like I'm asking myself everything. I'm talking to myself very tenderly, very gently. Like I literally talk to myself like a little girl, and I'd be fuzzy. I'd be like, okay, Ma, like chill out, boo. What you need to do.
So when Dry January over, you gonna go back to the,
you know,
it's Black History Month.
It is. Look, I got a lot to celebrate in February. I'm releasing like my production company. Well, it would have been released by now. The Real Hoodwives Chicago is brought to you by BlkHoneyBun Productions in collaboration with Ride and Buzz and Prosper. Thank you, Carlo. And we also want to give an immaculate shout out to the Let Us Breathe Collective for hosting us with the Breathing Room.
Yes, thank you to them.
Yes, they are incredible. So I'm celebrating, like that would have been celebrated. And if I'm being brutally honest, I'm a little bit fearful at the end of the month. Because I feel the proud. I feel the proud. Not just for myself, but like I feel like, you know, like I said, I'm kind of virginal again.
Yeah, but fear is good. I realize I'm kind of like, fear is kind of good because like I was like in my YouTube therapist like mode and just looking up videos of like how to not be anxious, how to not be fearful. And
I know exactly what type of videos you want.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Would be the white lady. Yeah, be the white lady like, fear is just no, but like fear is just excitement. They're the same thing. Yeah. It's just like what you project on it. Like Like, at first, I know that shit sounds so bullshit. I was like,
No, it's really
please.
true.
But, like, when you, like, kind of like, okay, I'm, like, ooh, nervous. And then you be like, no, I'm excited. Like, what's to come? What's to come? Like,
that's the optimistic perspective that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I was like, like, what is, like, jealousy, but to, like, admiration.
Yeah.
But, like, thorough admiration, like, fully committed, like, admiration. Like, you're jealous of someone because, like, you want something that they have, and maybe, like, you admire them. And that's really the lens that I try to, like, lift and like that I really try to like live through. Or like another one would be like with like shame, right? Like I could feel shame about something, or I could receive that as like me just being in my ultimate presentness. I'm fully present with how I'm feeling or like what has harmed me.
And I think like also with the fear shit, I don't know, it just came about, unless you being like, you could be genuinely fearful, which is very valid. You can actually just be scared.
You could definitely be scared.
You can be scared, and I just decided, but
Yeah, I want to talk to you about the music scene. We went away from it, but I would love to revisit that. Like the tropes, the types, the palatableness that you mentioned, right? Like, I don't know how deep you want to get into it, right? Or we don't have to, right? But like, what are some of like your experiences, especially being, I know you're a non-binary, but a non-binary person, but like, would I call you like a femme rapper still, or like a non-binary?
That's the only thing I feel like with femme, people have said that before. And I kind of don't like it.
I'm not asking that of
no. I think people like, it still kind of puts me in that light of towards femininity, which I still some days, but I think how my non-binary works or my lack of like gender, like, oh, this me, is that it's like every day is different. It's genuinely different. And I don't like, I think like, being like femme non-binary, I kind of defeats the purpose for my identity, not for, not in general of like the non-binary existence, because that looks different for everybody.
Yes.
But for me, I just like, when it's like the femme non-binary or femme, I just think like it doesn't speak to me, because I think because I am a Gemini at all times. Once again, it is day to day. Some shit leans more to the one side one day.
It's a balance.
But a lot of times it's both. It's just both.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it's just swirling at the same time. But yeah, I don't think it doesn't resonate with me.
I feel that.
And I think lately I've been just doing better at kind of like having a balance of like standing up for like my identity, but also kind of like letting people perceive me as they wish. You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely
say
do.
I definitely will say now, like some stuff like that don't make me feel seen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like people perceive how at work, like people call me she. I'd be like, whatever. I told my like I think it's like assistant manager, whatever. And first day, I was like, my pronouns are they them. She's like, what? I said, my pronouns, they them. She was like, oh, okay. Next day, she. And I'm not going to keep doing it every day with everybody. So I'm like, y'all can perceive me in whichever way you want, but yeah.
I appreciate that, and thank you again for that
space. Yeah.
And like you are, again, every identity is not a monolith, right? So I think that like in my like non-binary like experience, like being like in my femme, right? But like having very like mask energy too. Everybody presents differently. Everybody's experience is differently. I wanted to ask pertaining specifically to like you and dealing with music in that scene, right? And I was asking like, cause I would presume that like you're not accounted for as like a nigga rapper. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this, right? So is there like a totally different experience? Like, so I'm not a femme rapper, I'm not a rapstress, but I'm not a nigga, but you attack her like
so
that.
No, I'm sorry.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think what's funny is I'll notice a lot of people who are dudes will automatically, when they hear me rap, I think like a lot of them, to put their own egos aside, they'll immediately be like, oh, like queen. rapstress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that can be of respect, but I think like, I can tell when a dude or somebody who does rap, mainly dudes. This is not like a fuck dudes podcast.
It is right now.
For me, it's not. That's not even necessarily what
I know.
You know what I mean? I have respect and love for niggas. But I think I can tell when people try to put me in a box to make them feel better about
Like
they're
doing the work. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Because I think it is a boys' club.
It is.
What I do, it is a boys' club, as a lot of shit is. And I think that, I think that I noticed like a lot of people will automatically be like, Queen.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah.
I was gonna ask you that. I think I personally strive to move away from labels. Like I really feel just like fluid and like
That's
just like free. Like, you know, if you see what you see, you're welcome.
Yeah,
that's where I eat pussy. Like I suck dick. My tongue can go in the ass. And we all got one of those. So
and I just feel like with me, I just want you to listen to the music, and that be that.
You're so good.
You know what I mean?
It's so good.
Like, thank you. I want people to like listen to my work, and that be that. Like, I hate gendered if people want to be, then that's that. But I hate when people don't put that shit in the forefront as their artistry, and then people do it anyway. Like a lot of journalism does that.
Yes.
I hate it. I'm just like, or like if they didn't like talk to the artist first, and then I've had people like
write stories on you without talking to you.
Not full stories, but it'll be blurbs, and it'd be like, I could tell you didn't talk to me. Somebody, this is like off subject kind of, but somebody said I was from Philadelphia.
Yeah,
you didn't talk to me.
I'm not gonna hold you. You get Philly vibes.
No,
you get Philly vibes.
But I'm like,
no, you're
period.
Chicago too.
That's an honor. But one, I'm Chicago proud.
You're Chicago proud.
And then on top of that, like, where you get Philly from?
Yes.
Like, nowhere do you, like, okay, I get Philly.
I think that's why it's coming in my mind is because, like, a lot of my guests have been from Philly.
No, I love it.
But you're Chicago's finest.
Oh, thank you. Like, no, Chicago's finest, Chicago ride or die. Even though this city get on my nerves, but, like...
It's a love-hate relationship.
No, but I just feel like, I think that, like I said, people gonna perceive how they want to perceive. How I, as the artist, request people view my art is just the art face value.
Yes.
Don't worry about if I got titties. Don't worry about.
You know, I was talking to Kari about that, like in his first episode. And please check out Kari's episode in season 3. And I was talking about like, you know, understanding like privileges I hold, et cetera, especially like as someone who is in music, who does music and things like that, right? I don't want my body to be attached to my rap. I really don't. Like I really truly don't. I'm not trying to like shake ass like for a crowd to go dry when I hit my verse.
And if you wanted to,
if I wanted to, I can.
That's like period.
I can.
And
but that
still,
I don't want to be. That's the reason like why I ascend fast. Like, you know, some things are for you. Like what's happened for you is what happened for you. I'm really for just letting people rock. And, you know, like just taking advantage of like what you have worked for and what was naturally given to you and how you can also always create more space for other people. That is what really motivates me. I think with music and understanding where it could go and what industries still exist, I really don't want like things to be attached to my music other than the music.
And I think that's like, I think my, as far as industry things that I've observed so far, I'm sure it'll get worse, or like, I'm sure not worse, but like I'll observe more, be into more, immersed in more. But I've definitely noticed like, it sucks that a lot of the music business, a lot of other things other than music is tied into it. You know, whether it be like, what you look like, your identity, like how can we sell you? You know what I mean? How marketable are you? And sure, that's business, music business. It's not surprising, but it still is like kind of heartbreaking that like that is how it's operated, and not like it's different though if it's like from the artist. But I think that like I hate like corporation infiltration,
institutions,
like
capitalism.
I hate it. I can talk about my hate all day for that, but I think like, I don't know, what I am happy about or what I have seen is just like so many different like people creating, and we do need more plumbers, right? Not everybody needs to be rapping or making music.
More plumbers.
We need more plumbers.
That's actually kitschy as
but
hell.
I think
I love that. We need more plumbers. Guys,
but
my window pane.
No, for real.
It's broken. All right.
Who's gonna be the one to fix it?
Who gonna squeegee my shit?
But I think it's so beautiful to see the rainbow of artists, like no LGBTQ, but also LGBTQ. Not meaning that, but a rainbow of like expression.
No, we're definitely in a new
people.
renaissance. I feel like we're getting to like authenticity is what's selling. Authenticity is what is selling. It's very unfortunate that everything has to be a market in it. Like you got to be your most authentic self. Like it's gonna be your most authentic self to be sold, and that's why we're seeing a lot of like crumbling things. Like talk shows are like dying. Hip hop is coming up. Right? Because everything becomes oversaturated, right? So we're in this phase of like really allowing people to come to and be who themselves, and that's what's gonna sell. But then we're gonna see another current where it's like then it's gonna go back to the polished mask or back to the palatable mask and things like that. I'm just happy niggas are shaking their ass and not giving a fuck, and that's kind of not new, but just like I'm happy people is like whistling on beats. I'm happy like that people are just playing around, you know what I mean? Like just being them, you know, and I think like it's some shit I don't like, obviously, but I'm happy with the expanded self-expression because it's something for everybody and everybody. And I think that we're really like allowing people to like tap into like their true artistic bag, right? I think about like what stripping has become, or what white people has tried to make stripping, but we already knew what it was. Stripping is a fucking art, is a fucking I love it. Olympic, right? But we knew this. We knew this already. We knew this already, right? So like I want to like shake my ass in like inspirational lights. I want the blue like Keisha from Belly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
no, I'm like I love like sex workers, and I hate
support your local sex worker.
No, this is a commercial now to support you. No, for real. Support the local sex worker. Support all sex workers. I think it sucks that it's still like a stigma within like sex work. And I feel like I hate motherfuckers. It be the main ones benefiting off of it who be like, like, I don't know, being shitty.
It makes me also think about like what sex work is, right? Like, people say like, oh, like, you know, like people make a choice to get into sex work. And then it's like, well, what do you identify as a choice, right? Like I didn't realize I was in sex work when I was young at 16, right? Like having no stable household and like sleeping with a much older man for like, you know, for a place for a bed and like for some food so that like, you know, I can like finish high school, try to get through fucking high school. But like in your mind as a young poet at the time, whipping and running around the city trying to make it, trying to hustle, trying to get shit that wasn't what it was. And then you come up and you look up and you be like, oh, that was not the relationship. That was not a relationship. Boo. That was not the relationship that you thought it was. I think a lot of like because of like all the shit. All the shit, right? That removes like what is choice. Some people don't have a choice but to do it, and that's just their lives. That's just their livelihood.
I think I love the fact that I feel like sex work everything is like a spectrum. Like things like situations like in which you just said, or people who are flat out, it is a choice. I do this shit because, you know, I like money. Because
I got pretty feet.
I got pretty feet. I like money. I think I'm pretty. I think even though sometimes I don't even subside to the pretty, like, economy or whatever. But I think if you like, you know, you got that shits on, you know, you got your shit and you cute and you hot, you sexy, you fun.
Make a nigga pay for it.
Like,
make a nigga pay for it.
Millions.
Yeah.
Make them pay millions.
I was just talking to my therapist about this, right? Because I have a problem putting like number to things, right? Like involved in like magic to trickery, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me for no number. Yeah. Because like, you know, like there is no maximum, right? So it's like what is actually being accounted for as far as like quote unquote value, so to speak, right? Is really like, what does it look like to have therapy after this session? What does my time cost? What is the energy cost? Someone who may be more empathetic. What is that energy impression on me? What is that? What is removing of that tie cost me? Right? Not to mention like spirit, right? So it's really just the metaphysical that is really just being taxed and accounted for. And also understand that like everybody also probably doesn't hold, like everybody can't be in that space to recognize that. So it sometimes does come to value, and hey, do as you please, right? But if you're at, like, I was inspired by the conversation I had with my therapist most recently.
I don't know, I think like sex work is so much more than the face value. I personally can only speak to a certain extent because I've never done it. Maybe in certain facets that I didn't realize was, but I think that like it is worth so much more than people portray it as. It is worth so. I just really hope that every sex worker is getting a coin. It's like getting fat stacks of money in whatever ways in which you choose to be like to do your work.
Like, to do what you
because you sharing spirit with people, you know, giving people desire, you know what I mean? Like,
yes. And doing a cleanse, like, from that's the point that I was bringing up about, like, stabilism, like, being stable versus, like, you know, peaceful. Like, nigga, like I need something right now, but I don't want to have to, like, give my piece. And I feel like we could go on a tangent about this, but that can only be deconstructed once capitalism gets deconstructed. Like, you know, like the tangent, the snowball effects is real. I understand that these these quote unquote buzzwords aren't just like buzzwords being thrown around. Like I think these systems actually do like really affect us.
It affects everything.
It affects everything.
Scary enough.
And you have to like, you really just have to make yourself like privy and aware to everything. The current lens that I'm like on is I'm really striving for like not only like an identity to be of like a non-binary lens, but also like my views and my opinions. I don't want to be too far left, too woke. Like I don't want to be too far right, like too conservative. I don't know if I switched those up, right?
No, you were right.
Okay, right? Like I will, like, you know, like one of the biggest pieces of advice I got, like as a cusp Gen Z millennial person was like with social media. I got it from a documentary, and then we're talking about like how like we were like the first like kids with social media in school. Like I had MySpace when I was in like
MySpace. What was it like on MySpace? See, that's what we need to be talking. I don't know, but I feel like. Yeah, I think it was dying when I was first starting to get on the internet.
Like tagged Tumblr era. Okay, Facebook was really the stepping stone. Yeah, but it was like to always just have like different opinions than you around you, just to keep yourself open to like different perspective, and that is like the lens that I try to like live under. Being open to things, but I also understand that like some things are just like not open to me, or like my non-negotiables. Everybody has their non-negotiables.
No, for real. We love a non-negotiable.
We do love a non-negotiable.
Like, set your boundaries.
Yes.
Did you have any other questions?
I do.
Ask me anything.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about like queer sexness to you. What does that thrive and like look like for you? Or like how do have fantasies emerged from that?
Oh my God. Okay. I feel like I grew up in a household where sex was very like taboo. So I feel like throughout this conversation, I may be a little like awkward. Okay.
Yeah, we can approach it however you feel comfortable.
But I don't know. I think honestly, I knew I was like, so I'm pansexual.
Hey, nah.
So I'm like,
Anything.
I like anybody.
Anybody.
It doesn't matter who. I know it sounds corny, but it doesn't matter what body
It's
in
about
which you
the
inhabit. Not even about the spirit, but it's like, how do I feel with you, and like, what can you show me that in which I can trust you, and like, you know, we continue. It don't always have to be that serious, but like, but I think I've always like grown up in such like my mom's Christian. My dad was like kind of Christian, but not really. Like he was definitely the Black like liberation person. That's where I get my little like radical side from. But both parents are very like, they don't even know to this day that I'm the gay. You know what I mean? Or pansexual. Because I just feel like also too like coming out culture is very like, kind of like I don't believe in that. So
I don't believe in it.
I show up who I show up with. Don't ask me like.
Period.
But I do think it is like.
I think coming out culture can also be very like harmful.
It can be harmful because it displays like, okay, one way is normal, and you have to reveal that you are not the normal.
When the other doesn't have to.
You know what I mean? It's complicated. You know what I mean? But my my parents kind of like homophobic. And for me, I kind of knew I was like queer, if you like. I hate that word. I love it and hate it at the same time. But I know I was queer from a younger age, but I just didn't like fully like. No, I think I would be in spaces that were trans and queer and Black and not even realize it, you know what I mean? Or be like, oh, these just my homies, like, these are my homies. Like,
you always had a cousin somebody, like, a cousin or uncle somebody.
When it's me, and not, like, even just people I, like, chosen family.
Yeah.
People I just ought to, like, gravitate towards, like, these are my, you know, my niggas, like, period. And I think more, not recently, but maybe say, like, maybe since, like, it's kind of recent. It's embarrassing, but 2019 is when I fully was like, all right, niggas is queer. Like, niggas is queer, and kind of like, I feel like I was a late bloomer. Not necessarily, because I feel like people come out later than that, way later than that, but I feel like I was like, you know, I'm queer, you know, and kind of being like, nah, I like everybody.
Yeah, I think from like a young age, like, I was just raised in a household where, like, my mom was just like, whatever you do, don't let me find out by way of the streets.
Lord,
So, like, I didn't really have to. I told her when I lost my virginity, but I didn't, like, tell her, like, I was gay. Like, I think it was just, like, something that, like, well, I also left porn open on my computer one time, right? And so she probably also knew it from that, but I didn't think it was, like, I never really had to, like, move through, like, the singular story. But I think also queerness really kind of saved me in high school. Oh, wow. Like, you know, it's the mean girls, you know, but it's like, I don't mean, like, I like girls. I would much rather see you smile at me than, like, scowl at me. Like, what's to it? And I think that, like, really just, like, masculinity, like, kind of became, like, my defense a little bit. It, like, protected me. It shows that I was a woman's woman.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like that realization, or just, like, realize that coming out to myself fully was, like, very liberating, very, like, okay, like, you know, this feels like freeing, at least I can move properly within myself. And, I don't know. I feel like to have sex with somebody, they really got to get my attention. Like, or got to really, like, we got to go back to the original question. Like, they really got to, like, draw me in. Because I think I'm weird. Or not weird. Let's not use those, like, weird. Because nothing is. But I think with people, people can be cute, sexy, hot to me. And I'll be like, But sometimes when people open their mouth, I be like, all right. I can't even get wet off this. Like, what is this? Yeah. But I think, like, sex and fantasies have to have a lot of elements to be like, all right, I'm into this. Like, I'm feeling this. Like, I feel comfortable. But I don't know. I think for me, like, I'm definitely a, like, verse top. What they call it? Top verse.
Yeah, a verse or a soft top. Or...
Soft top. I don't know any. You know, like I just be flowing. Take it. I can give exactly. I flow pretty much, but I think when it comes to like queer sex, I definitely like to be top. I don't know. We still.
You sound like me. Who's top? Me.
Right, like me.
Yes.
Me.
I like,
but also like, I don't know, fantasy. I don't know if I have like fantasy.
Okay.
I've had like queer sex and it's been good, but I think I'm still like trying to like figure out like what the fuck.
I feel you. I think like when I have queer sex, especially with someone with like a pussy, I understand that every pussy is different. Every pussy is different. I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah. But I think as far as like eating pussy, I really take advantage of the fact that I have one. And I'd be like, what would I like done to me? And I go in.
Yes, no. I love being a munch. I love eating pussy. I love being a munch.
I am feeling you, sweetheart.
I love being a munch.
Yes. Yes. My favorite way is to like eat. I think I'm really a fan of eating it from the back. You know, a good land on your stomach and taking it in. You know, you frolic your legs through the air. That's always good. Yeah. That's always exciting. But I like to lift the ass and like, you gotta lift it.
You said you gotta lift the ass.
You lift it and then you spread it. Where it's like kind of almost gape, but not a little gape. And then like you like claw in. And you attack it.
Yes.
You spit in it.
You say you spit?
Yeah. I love to eat pussy.
Me too. I think for me, I love the like, I'm very like intimate, aggressive. So I love like having somebody like, you know, laying back regular and then how they legs up, like kind of pushing down, but not like, but like,
did your arm just crack?
Yes, Lord, my limbs be cracking, but not like that. That's not. But like, I think like I love a tongue finger combo.
Yeah.
With me, so I do that with, you know. What I mean?
Yeah. I just cut my nails most recently.
No, I have short nails. Like just period. Like they don't grow past a certain point.
Good for you.
Just like right. I
used to bite my nails all the time.
Yeah. Do I bite them? A little bit, but not really. But I love like finger lick combo.
Have you ever strapped before?
Yeah.
What's that like for you? We talked about straps before.
It can be awkward.
Yeah, you know, I've been fucked by a strap before.
It can be awkward sometimes.
I think it's really important to talk about strap care.
Yeah.
Because not cleaning the strap after every person is not okay. Like just get a brand new strap per person. That's what it is. Just get a whole new piece of equipment.
One is the best bet because I think that even if you clean it,
it's still not clean. Like you can boil it, you can do everything to it. You need to get a new piece per person, and like that is like not okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. But strap. I don't know. I have mixed feelings with strap because I feel like I need more experience with strap.
Okay.
I've done it.
Okay.
But I just think like, and I like to do it.
Okay. What did it like? I would imagine because I want to see me get my strap sucked. Like I would.
Have you never had straps?
I've never strapped.
Wow.
I've never strapped. E'mon has never strapped. I've never strapped. You know. I have feelings about strapping.
Yeah.
I have my feelings about strapping, you know.
What's your feeling?
I'm not really sure if it's anything that needs like dismantling, right? But like my personal preference is like I would prefer not to. I'm not really a pegger. I don't really like to peg as much, but I would definitely strap with like a femme, like non-binary person, but you know, pegging is not my particular thing.
Honestly, like for me, and it's gonna be very like TMI. I guess not very TMI. This is literally who I'm. Yes. But I don't with getting strapped, which I have been as well. I feel like I don't know what it is, but maybe I need something. I don't know. Maybe I need like a person who's really like know what the fuck.
As far as motion,
but it be hurting for me.
Yes, it gets
hurts
dry.
me.
It gets dry. It does not. It's not pleasant.
Yeah,
it's not pleasant.
It hurts for me.
I
be like,
yeah, I like lube. I think lube is like wonderful. Coconut oil is always like the OG. We love coconut oil. You can swallow it. You can put it in your
never
pussy
done
and your
coconut
asshole.
oil.
Like
I feel like wouldn't that dry up quick?
No, I mean the thing about coconut oil. See, like
You be using that coconut oil.
Hey,
every time the coconut oil see you, it be like.
I just be looking down in that jar. And it just be all scraped, you know, like food party. I just imagine it be like, oh fuck. I take that coconut and I just throw it up. It's a natural antibacterial, like,
it's
and I just like let
I've
it.
I've used it before as like a moisturizer.
Yeah.
Of the cooter.
But I do like. I strap myself.
Like, okay.
I put a dick on the wall.
Period.
And that is.
It's good.
It's so good.
Because I feel like
you control
your emotion.
You also know, like, if you need more lube or coconut oil on it or something.
I never had a good success with a penetration toy. I don't know what it is, but it just don't like it be too. Maybe I need the right one. Maybe once again, as I get older and as I get more, trying out toys.
What type of masturbator are you?
Clit.
Okay, a DJ. Yeah,
Clit,
clitoral stimulation. Clitoral stimulation. Have you ever squirted?
Yeah.
Really?
But it doesn't like for me. It don't like. It just trickle out like. I don't even know you behind the camera. He said, I'm just here.
Carlo done heard it.
Right. Yeah, he done heard it.
All of it. He was like, yeah, this is it. He gets all the story.
But yeah, I'm definitely like, it just and I've only squirted, I'm pretty sure, by myself.
Okay.
With toys.
Really? That's admirable. That's admirable.
Really?
Yeah. I went 23 years without squirting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
what was the time it happened?
Man,
it was a partner.
Yeah.
Wow.
This nigga. Oh my! Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
You don't even
like
know his name.
I told him. I was like, I'm gonna let you know you changed the game for everybody. They owe you something. Baby.
This is recently or no?
I mean, this is like 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. And like we're still great, like we're great friends, great, like, have great partnership between each other. And I send all my love to you.
Period.
He made me squirt for the first of all, he gave me some bomb ass head.
Period.
Like good ass head.
You love it.
And
you love
my God, it was so fucking good. And then I squirted, and ever since it was my first time squirting, I squirted.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It was wet, all on the floor, puddles. It was really fantastic. And I want to make myself squirt. I can't believe you did that.
It be because the clit. I feel like the rabbit toys.
Use the rabbit?
I've used, so my favorite toy, I have a mini, it's not even a rabbit. What is it?
Is it the rose?
No.
Is it the one?
Them. So the classic ones are the huge one with the dome.
The fucking
top.
neck massages?
Yes,
the magic
but I
wand.
have a small one.
Okay.
I have one that's like perfect size.
Okay.
And that one be doing it for me.
I love that. I'm really glad that you're having that exploration with yourself. I really want to have more sex toy fun with myself.
Yeah, no, you should.
I think I'll get the rose. They say that the rose changes your life.
I wonder if they just capping.
I don't believe. I've seen people use the rose.
Yeah.
They be sprawled out.
They be
sprawled out. They be sprawled out. Yeah. Okay. I've had the pleasure of seeing it during sex.
You said they be sprawled.
Yeah, they be sprawled out.
Okay.
They be sprawled out. I really do want to get the rose. I do feel you on the strapping thing. Mm-hmm. What I think the discomfort is the motion. The motion. It just feels a little bit too disconnected. So it's while your pelvis is moving, it's not really moving.
I just don't like that I can't feel the dick. I can't. At least when I've done it, and I don't know, when I've done it and received it, it just feels like a disconnect. But I just think, honestly, because me and the person was not fully experienced with it, so we were both kind of learning. it may be a different story if got the Strap Master 9000.
Strap Master 9000, we're looking for you. We're looking for you. We're looking for you. What do you feel about scissoring?
I've never had luck with it.
Have I scissored before?
I've never had luck because the way I think
it's really the thigh.
Yeah.
It's that thigh knee combo.
Yeah, I can't. It's never worked for me.
Yeah, I would love to have a good, like, I think I've scissored with one person before, and it was pretty fucking
It was
hot.
good?
It was.
Okay.
It was pretty fucking high. I will say.
Period.
I really did like it. I think I want to have more queer sex than, like, I am able to. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that...
What you mean you're able to?
Because of, like, how I usually, like, court people. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of, like, femmes, like, still practice misogyny, especially when, like, dating women, just honestly and transparently.
Yeah.
And that's never my intention. Like, I'm not trying to, like, learn how to get a woman based off of what I see niggas do to prove that I have enough mask energy to handle her. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't believe, like, nobody should be handling. But I mean, like, exactly. you can handle me. But, you know what I'm saying? But, like, there's a limit. So it's like, on one end, I want to approach you. Yeah. And I want to, like, you know, take you out, you know, treat you right. But, like, I want to approach you.
What's your thoughts on studs?
They practice misogyny. A lot of them practice misogyny. Like, you know, that's my honest opinion. I feel like a lot of studs practice misogynoir to make themselves comfortable with their identity.
Yeah, definitely not all, but I think
definitely not all
studs. Like, I don't know. I think my attraction is very person to person. Mm-hmm. And, like, I love a stud. You know, I feel like studs are like the Tropicana or the orange juice. Let me explain. I feel like the studs, Tropicana is real good, real good. Mm-hmm. But I think there's other brands that is good as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like that sounds strange as hell, but
no, I get you.
I just feel like people fetishize studs in a strange way that I don't like, which is like layering. Like, I don't like, and I'm like, leave them studs be. You know what I mean? Like, leave them studs be. And I think they have, like, studs. I love a stud. But I also definitely think I don't like the studs that be practicing misogynoir. You know what I mean? Definitely, like, folks who benefit from, like, that's those systems of misogynoir. You know?
It definitely makes me think back to our previous conversation about, like, perception, right? Like, how the world, like, perceives you, right?
And that's even a gray area as well, because, like, I don't know.
There is no look. There is no one identifying look to, like, queerness, right?
Yeah, and I think some people will perceive in a way in which they have a limited, like, perception or understanding of people.
I love the way that you talk about just, like, fluidness and perception and, like, letting the art, like, speak for itself. Like, how do you find yourself being, like, constantly inspired by yourself, the spirit that you that you live in, that you exist in, the space that you carve out for yourself and for, like, other people?
Can you, like, repeat the question?
Yeah.
I think I understand, but I'm like...
It basically, like, is, like, do you ever find, like, your identity or, like, who you strive to be, the world that you want to create, the spaces that you want to create for yourself and other people being a driving force of, like, your your inspiration?
I think, like, well, we talk about, okay, so, like, self-inspiration. This past winter has been really hard. It's still winter. But I think the, like...
Yeah, it's winter.
It's
like, springtime. It's actually spring.
Right, it's spring. So we're speaking into existence. So, like, the end of November, December, early this month, I think just, like, sitting with myself and being like, okay, like, having to sit with myself and kind of mulling over identities or whatever and kind of just releasing it. It was a moment where it's like, that is really, I still struggle with, you know, dysmorphia now and then, and, like, it happens, it pops up. yes, and just like having releases every other day as well of just like, you know, they gonna see me as they see me. Fuck them. You know that? Fuck them. Because I think all my life I've had people perceive me in incorrect ways, or ways in which I'm like, oh, you're just putting me in some strange like box, even outside of gender, like being, you know, it's winter, so I look a little light skinned, but but I like definitely am on the darker skin spectrum of persons, and I think people, you know, as well as like having their own perception, people have masculinized me as well. And that's something I don't like either. And kind of just holding that and kind of tossing them shits up back and forth. And I think despite, you know, being non-binary and playing in that identity, I think that I'm not all, just like femme, you know, the femme expression or being referred to as that, like same goes for like, you know, I'm turned around, you know, sometimes it's cute, but if it's not the day, it's not the day. I remember I was working at Navy Pier and this white woman, maybe the white people sometimes, this white woman, her kid was like, I was turning around and I had just kind of cut my hair off for the first time. Man. And the white woman was like, give it to him, give it to him. You know what I mean? Like, give it to him. And I kind of was like, what? At the time, like, mind you, I don't identify as non-binary. Even still and then incorrect. Cause like what you I don't know, give it to him. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just trying to commit to a consistent release of like expectations. Everybody else, whatever they thinking, like that does affect me in some way, but not really. Like if I wanna be this person, this is who I am. A lot of it is determined by me. And I think that's how I keep inspired by that with my art, because making art, as you know, as an artist yourself, is a very like weird experience, and you're trying to balance what you want to create, and then when you're done with it or while you're creating, you have little voices from outside forces coming in your head and being like, oh, that sounds weird,
and then that's
that
like,
sounds, you know,
that's
what I
your
mean?
censor. That's your censor.
And we always try to move towards our best artistic child.
That's the person.
And I don't want to like, and I was like, I have to remind myself almost daily, like, I don't want to live under a censor. I do it to myself, I'm sure, and I live with censors every day, but I don't want to like have to feel like, oh, like self-corrected or self-judged. Cause why can't I do that? I just got approved for apartment.
Congratulations!
God, thank you. And I was period. No, cause I was about to talk about money. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm making enough money. I don't know, like they gonna look at my credit and see I owe something. Like not a lot, just one thing, like owe something, and that's gonna fuck me over. And me and my roommate not gonna be able to get nothing. But I'm also just like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know,
I really
same
do.
with art. It's like, why not? Crazy. The Loch Ness Monster more than likely exists. Why can't I have this home?
You have to be,
why can't I have this apartment? Like,
you have to be there.
Why can't I put this, why can't I put this strange thing in my music? Why can't I?
Yes, and falling into the chaos.
Yeah, why, especially like learning this past year, learning a lot about like hardware equipment, like SP44SX, like sampler machine, the pocket operator that I have, this little stylophone weird thing I have. When I was like first buying them or first thinking about getting those shits, I'm like had a self-doubt glimmer, or like, what am I gonna do with that? Like, I don't want to sound like other people. Kind of just like strange voices in my head.
That's definitely the censor.
Yeah,
that's definitely the censor. The censor is the person that blocks your most creative self, your artistic child.
And kind of going back to your original question, like at least individual inspiration, I just think there's inspiration in being fed up of censoring you. You know what I mean? It's inspiration in just being like,
at some point
I'm
you get tired. I get
shit.
tired of like being scared. I get tired of like being fearful. I get tired of thinking this is not enough, and like really falling into that. You bring me to a wonderful question that I'm really excited to hear your answer on. Like, what is a hoodwife to you?
or a hood wife.
Or a hood partner.
Yeah, a hood motherfucker.
A hood mofo.
I think a hood wife, a hood motherfucker, a hood person, not hood person, I don't know, a hood into whatever you would like, is somebody who is boundless in a way of like kind of we talked about earlier. Somebody needs to get their ass whooped. They getting their ass whooped, and that hood wife, we just call hood wife, that's what's titled. That hood wife, that hood partner is going to do that ass whooping. You know what I mean? It's going to speak their mind. It's going to, like, despite the consequences of death or the consequences of, like, the external fears, going to express themselves however in which way they fit. Like, I think a hood wife, a hood partner doesn't care about respectability politics and lives in the ways in which, like, they know how to live. You know what I mean? Like, just existing, eating whatever. You know what I mean? Eating whatever, eating the greasiest shit, talking loud, got mad rings. I'm just like envisioning a person at this point. Like, not even just me, but just like,
you stay sleep.
Just like, oh, thank you. Like, I'm trying, but just like, not even describing me. I genuinely I have like if we talking about hood wife, like if we talk about like hood wife, I just think about like a mother with children, and like, but like from like a black film or something. You know what I mean? Like a 70s, 80s black film, like get your shit on, get your shit on, get out the house, you know, but like sexy and kind of like got that bathtub moment where, you know what I mean, got the candles, the cigarette, like.
Yes, you're describing a Morgan Parker poem.
No, for real, like just a person who is like complex but has the little, I don't know, allows themselves to be agitated, but make sure they find their peace and fight for that peace. And
yes.
Fight for their little bathtub cigarette moment.
Yeah. You know? Yes, that's
and
a
just
wonderful.
Lives day to day, and you know, tries to stay in the present.
Try to stay in present.
That holding it down.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us where we can find you, how we can support you?
Okay. So once again, my name is Semiratruth. You can find me kind of everywhere, like on Instagram, Twitter. That is my handle. You can find, I'm very humble. When it's time to talk about me, I'll be like, oh, what did I talk about? But I have projects on Bandcamp, projects on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. I have about like 4 or 5 projects out, starting from when I was 16. So I'm 22 now. So like you can like kind of see the progression of me, and then there's more to come. So like once again, follow me, Semiratruth. Type me in everywhere, and yeah.
A true star.
Oh,
a true star.
Coming from a star.
Well, we make the galaxy.
No,
we make the galaxy. I really do appreciate. Hey, that's some hood wife shit. I really do appreciate you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed our conversation. This is wonderful, and you all have tuned in for another episode of the Real Hoodwives Chicago, brought to you by BlkHoneyBun Productions in collaboration with Rise Above and Prosper. Thank you, Carlo. Another wonderful shout out to the Breathing Room at the Via Let Us Breathe Collective. And this is the Real Hoodwives of Chicago. I'm your host, E'mon Lauren, a real show with hot sauce stories.
Fuck me like you really want to. Can you love me like you do your hustle? Can you feed me past the food and grubbing? Can you clean me like it's church on Sunday? In the tubbing, scrub a dubbing, clean the fountain, make a wish and throw a